to get started here in Tai Chi in just one moment and do some meditation. All right? All right. Let me see. Where did I place it? All right. So, if this is your first time doing Tai Chi, I want you to relax, be nice and calm. We're going to breathe all the way down to our Dantian. We're going to do some movements here that will get us nice and calmed and relaxed and get rid of all the stress from today. I'm still missing one thing here that I'm looking for. That is a little important. Give me 1 second. Hey, Max, how's it going? I'll be right back. Where is that light? All right, there we go. Should be back to getting set up. Doing good. A little chaotic today. Been a little rough of a day, but it happens. So just gonna do some stress relief, Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, and calm down from the day. Yeah. Oh, it looks like that was about here. All right, there's a little more light there. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna do some basic movements. If this is your first time doing Tai Chi, I encourage you to find a small little spot around and follow along. Not everyone loves Tai Chi, but I think it's super beneficial for everyone to learn. And yeah, let's have a little fun, get rid of all the stress from this week, and get ready for the weekend. And the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and swing our arms. Let me see here. I appreciate it, Max. It was just it's just stressful, just normal life stuff. All right, let's go ahead and swing our arms. We're gonna swing sideways like this and let the stress relief happen. Nice and loose. When I'm doing this one, I'm hitting the kidneys and the lower abdomen. This helps wakes up the blood and keep things moving. Good. Then we switch to moving forward, swinging the hands up and down, up to the forehead. And then as I do this, I rock back and forth from a 7-star stance to a bow stance. It doesn't have to be super low, as this is our first warm up, Qigong. Tai Chi needs to be done at a relaxed pace. And then we switch our feet. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands up and we drop. drop. Good. Next one, we're going to go ahead and rub our hands together. This helps wakes up the meridian points in our hands. This is one of the few things that the Karate Kid got correct. Is you rub your hands together, and that starts helping the blood move, and then it also opens up the capillaries and the chi meridian points. All right. So let's begin with our Qigong, which is a, some people consider it a moving meditation. Now, the Qigong that I do is more specific towards Tai Chi and building an internal power, but it has so many different benefits that everyone can get. Now, when you practice these Qigongs, we want to be moving our movements nice and soft, letting everything happen nice and natural. Today, I don't want you to think about too much about the chi moving or directing chi into positions. That will happen naturally. And in the Tai Chi classics, one of the things it says is do not worry about storing your chi. Now, there's so many arguments and all of that about what that really means, but we can discuss that at a later time. For today, we're just getting rid of the stress. That way, we can have a great weekend. And then later on, I'm going to be hitting the bag, which that's a whole different stream. All right, so let's go here. Now I start with my feet just outside of shoulder width, feet facing forward. And I start by raising the hands forward. Now, as I do this, I'm breathing in through the nose all the way down to my dantian, which is located 2 inches below the navel and behind the navel. Now, when I get my hands up here, I stretch forward, then I roll back. Rising palms, working on ping energy, pung energy. And as we do this, we think about all the stress from the day just melting away. We don't need it. Good. Let's do the next movement. So now I'm going to reach out to the sides, lifting up. Once my hands get shoulder width, I turn the palms up, scooping the energy above me. Now I take the universal chi and I put it down into my crown chakra. Now from here, I stir up the coffee and pull down. Now, some people will prefer to do these movements to music, which is perfectly fine. Whatever gets you into the relaxed state. Now, I play a lot of music in my private classes or also in my in-person classes, as YouTube has very strict rules on what music we can play live. And I don't want to get hit with any copyright or anything like that. Nice and soft movements. Remember, we're breathing all the way down to the belly, all the way to the dantian. And guiding the chi down from the upper dantian the throat, middle dantian, lower dantian to the feet, and the chi comes back up. Let's do one more. Good. Now we're going to go to the middle dantian. So we lift up. Now instead of raising up, we turn the palms forward, scooping from the shoulders, then the elbows to where the fingers align, pulling into the heart chakra and down. Nice and soft movements. Now, a lot of times you'll feel cracking or popping of the bones. That's perfectly natural. Once you start relaxing down to the muscles, all the way to the bones, where the muscles and tendons connect to the bones, then you'll get little twitches, pops, all of that. I get a ton of the popping happening in my shoulder. Connecting the middle dantian to the lower dantian. And remember, don't think too much about the chi movement. Just doing the movement makes it happen. And what's great is if you believe in it, it works. If you don't believe in it, it still works. All right. And then stopping at the middle or the lower dantian down here. Now let's do 3 big breaths all the way down to that area that our hands are in. In through the nose and exhale. In through the nose and exhale. In through the nose one more time and exhale. Now we're going to blow up the balloon so the pressure fills up the balloon, and then we close it, pushing the air out. Open, close. And you might feel two kind of different energies here. As you open up, you might feel different energy than when you're closed here. When you closed here, you feel more, or I feel more chi coming down the center line here. And when I open, it expands up. I can feel it a little bit more on the outer sides of my body, along the skin. So as this chi sinks, the chi on the outside pushes out. Good. Next one. From here, we're going to go ahead and put our right hand on top, left hand on bottom. And we're going to pull and push. Pull, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Breathe in and push and breathe out. 2 more. One more on this side. Now we're going to hold the chi ball. We're going to turn the chi ball upside down, and we're going to do the same practice. Nice and soft movements. We get rid of the stress of the day, and we we empower ourselves with more chi. All right. Now from here, we're going to take the chi ball up to our middle dantian or the heart area. And now we're going to pull it and stretch it and then push it back together. Feel the magnetism behind the hands. As you do this a couple times, you'll start feeling kind of like traces. I feel like string pulling from the fingers. And then when I push it together, I have the magnetism in my hands. I feel that. And then I remember that feeling. And a lot of Qigong, although it does build your energy, a lot of Qigong is made for your awareness of the Qi. That way you can get aware of the feeling. Good. From here, we're going to push down. Now reach out to the sides, back forward, palms facing forward this time. Push forward, and then rotate the thumb down, then up, opening the hands. Elbows come down, lifting up. Now we pull in. And push down. Up to the sides. Forward. Thumb down, then rotate. Lifting up and pull. And press. One more time. Now from here, we're going to lift the elbows, push the shoulders down, palms are facing out, and push. Rotate thumb down, then to the pinky, back forward. Pull in, elbows up, shoulder rotate down. Release this tension in the shoulder and push out nice and soft. Rotate the thumb down, then the pinky up. Scooping in front. One more time. Good. Now forward here, we're going to pull in and we're going to sink back down to the dantian. We're going to do a big full microcosmic orbit. And push down. Here, scoop, breathe in, and hollow fist, breathe out. And then move your feet. Good. So that's a good little Qigong, just kind of little run through where we did certain movements, and each of the movements help guide the Qi. Now, as we're doing the Qigong, we're also practicing some Neigong. And Neigong can be more of the internal work that you do as you're doing Qigong. Neigong, a lot of times, I guess the best way to explain it is when you're doing your breath work, you're doing Neigong. So you can practice Neigong by just standing there and practicing the different types of breathing, like breathing up to the higher upper chest, breathing down to the lower dantian. That's all kind of considered Neigong practices, letting the internal work guide. Now, Qigong is where we do certain movements to help move the qi. And there's a couple different camps of Qigong. There's internal Qigong, where you're really building internal force, where you see the Tai Chi push hand masters, where people will push on them and they just don't move because they have a lot of that internal power. Then there's also what we call Park Qigong. Park Qigong is perfectly fine. It's the great thing about Qigong is if you do the movements are so good for your joints, flexibility, strength also. If you're doing really good movements, as the Park Qigong, you can see a lot more kind of pushing. There's a bunch of different. I mean, there's like hundreds and hundreds of different qigongs. So it really depends on what you're working on and what you have around you. So that's one cool thing about qigong is that there's so much to study and it's such a big, deep system. Like I said, I practice Wu style Tai Chi, and so a lot of the qigongs that I work on are made to develop the internal power that is needed for Tai Chi. All right, about here, we're going to take a real quick second, and then I'm going to be right back, and we're going to start working on the Tai Chi form, the 13 golden postures. Just going to grab a quick sip of water. All right, let's get back to it. Thank you for the comments, the nice comments. Keep up to Max in case. That was still playing. Sorry about that. Sorry, I was getting the echo. Thank you for the comments. Yeah, motivation, you'll find it in different things. We want to keep building the community here and keep practicing more Tai Chi. So we're going to keep going, and I'm going to work on some of the Tai Chi form. And like I said, I've been teaching this for online on YouTube for a couple streams now. Once it's finished, I'm going to be taking the streams down as we're going to be moving a lot of this over to the school community. I'm building a school community for Tai Chi. Just, I don't know, I always double check to make sure that's on. For Tai Chi, it's going to have full on courses and programs. That way you can learn for Tai Chi as my goal is to share Tai Chi with the world. And I've been doing a bunch of different things. I'm trying to figure out how to do it the best. And I think the school community system, the way that they have that, and that's SKOOL, I think that might be the best platform to be able to do it in the most beneficial way for y'all to be able to run a program. So all that's in the future. There's a link for the email list. Go ahead and sign up for that email list, and you'll get all the information for the Kung Fu and Tai Chi that's going to be coming online to that school community. Perfect. So let's go ahead and work on the form. And drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate it. So let's re-go over, review what we worked on last time. So we're going to start at the very beginning. And I'm going to start just off the camera as I'm going to go that way. From here, I sink down and all the way down into my right side here. So starting up straight, hands at side here. I sink. Once I sink, I move my weight to my right, right at my leg here. All the weight. That way I can lift up my heel and toe and place my foot down, toe, heel. Then I shift my weight to the left. This causes my foot to be able to raise and point forward. And then I reach forward, or I center forward here. Now, Wu style Tai Chi is essentially a smaller frame version of, well, it comes from small frame Yang style. So when we do our movements, we're not going to have as big of a bow stance as some of the other styles. You can do it as a much upper or upright style up here instead of having to go into the big stances. So keep that in mind as I do this, as it's very small frame. All right, let's do that again. Sink into the right leg. I lift the heel, toe down, heel down. I shift my weight. Now I can turn my foot forward, heel, toe. Now I extend my body up. When I do that, the chi sinks down internally. Once it sinks down, you'll have this rising feeling on the outside. And so we sink and rise. The hands rise forward. From here, I reach out. And when I reach out, I suck in to my solar here. My sternum pulls in, my ribs pull in, and the hands extend out straight. Now I roll my elbows down and pull the palms back. Elbows drop, wrist bends, rolling the hands down on the ball. As I do that, I also squat into my knees and my hips into a low stance here. Now I'm going to shift my weight back over to my right, raising my hands up. As my hands raise up, my heel raises. I brush my ankle and I go out 7-star stance. And my palms are going to be up here. Turn the left foot and the left palm at the same time. Turn. Now the right palm pushes forward here. Now I'm going to turn, raising my heel on my right foot, brush my ankle, 7-star. Now we pull the hand back. As I pull the hand back, my right foot is going to go flat. Flat, and then I move through what's called neutral stance. Now here I'm going to extend and push through my back leg, my left leg, and push through, reaching the hand out here. 45, serving the drinks this way. I'm here, I look at myself in the mirror, I'm in neutral, I extend out through the back leg here. And Wu style has a lean. We have a little lean here where we try and keep our crown chakra lined up with the leg. So you'll see a little lean instead of us being up here. And so we lean forward. Now we turn, rotating, closing the hip into the quad, or closing one quad while stretching the other leg. Drop the elbow, pull back, 7-star. Now I can turn my foot 45 degrees and I palm 45 to the corner. I hook, step out, 7 or single whip. All right, so that's a lot. That was a review of what we've been learning already. And I've taught those in a bunch of different sections. So if you haven't seen the live videos before, go back. I believe they're still up and you can catch up on those 3 movements. Now, we're going to work on what is called cloud waving. Cloud waving is a fantastic, and I mean a fantastic Tai Chi movement that you can practice all by itself also, and it has so many stress relief factors in it. A lot of the movements are nice and soft, and it causes you to move with as little force as possible, And you get that real light feeling here, that softness that you need in Tai Chi for later forms. And cloud hands is one of the first ones to really teach you how to move with that softness. So if this is your first time doing it, perfectly cool. I'm going to break it down. We're going to make it really easy for you to follow. So the first thing that we need is what's called mabu, or horse stance. Now in the Kung Fu horse stance, you're going to see that the toes are forward, and then they squat low, and they get as low as possible. And you'll see, big open punches here. Now with our Tai Chi, especially the Wu style Tai Chi, we're going to go a little smaller frame. And so instead of our feet facing completely forward, we get to have our feet face just outside of completely forward. You don't want to be the Shaolin stance. We're just a little bit outside. That way the hips will open along the legs here. And we're going to start with our right hand. We're going to take our fingers, we're going to put them together. Now, once they're together, I'm going to scoop up just a little bit with the fingers, make them nice and rounded here. Then from here, I'm going to bend my wrist into a hook here. I'm going to put that out to the corner 45 here. Now I'm going to take my left hand. I'm going to pull open, palm into single whip. Now, this is our starting position here, single whip for Wu style Tai Chi. I'm going to drop the left hand. And as I drop, I start to turn here. When I drop, the hand comes down. The left foot, as it passes, is going to turn in here. So it comes down, turn in, causing me to close into my right hip here. As the hand keeps going up, once it passed the wrist here, the right palm is going to go down here, but it starts in the shoulder, elbow, palm here, drop. This happens when the left hand passes the wrist here. Now, as the left hand passes the wrist, it turns so you can face yourself in the mirror here. Now, I'm going to turn as the right hand continues to drop down. Now, I turn my left foot back open. Then my right foot is going to turn to continue as my left hand continues to move forward here. Then my right hand is continuing to move in the same direction until we get to a palm here. Now, again, once it passes the wrist, it never actually touches, but once it passes the wrist here, this hand will start to drop here. And we turn the back foot open, close the back foot now, because now the front foot is reversed, and we go. And just do this movement a little bit. Practice this first. Get this nice and smooth, and get used to this motion. Remember, every time I move the back hip, then the other hip. If you notice, I do Kung Fu, so I start getting lower and lower because that's just my natural tendency from my Kung Fu traditional training. So you can be all the way up here. This is perfectly fine for single whip. Look, this is the motion I need. Sorry, I always double check. I always think, here, Neigong. And so that's the Wu style cloud hands. But how do we finish the Wu style cloud hands, right? So we start in single whip. My hand drops, I turn. When I come back here, we're going to do it 2 times. 1, 2. Now from here, when it comes up this time and it passes here, I'm going to go ahead and make that hook again. So as, let's see, where are we? Right here, this is going to pass, hook. Then as it passes, I open up this way, open, And Wu style, we're going to resit into this leg. So I'm open, and instead of going all the way over like a Yang style, or I think Chin goes more here, what we do is we go here, open, and then we're going to press back into our leg in tension into the palm here. So let's do the full cloud waving. We just did our pull back into single whip. I'll get a little bit further back so I can be in the camera frame. Just went back, single whip here. And then we go 1, 2, and hook, sit. Good, that was a little fast. Let's do it a little slower. All right. Drop the left hand. Turn the left foot. Pass by the right wrist. Drop the hands and turn. Left hand palm as right hand lift. Now left hand drop, right hand is up, turn. Now from here, when we palm, we brush the wrist, open, palm. That is cloud waving for the Wu style Tai Chi. Now you'll see a couple different groups do more horizontal. It's really cool because Tai Chi has so many different styles. There's about, I want to say 5 main that are really the main styles, but there's also derivatives of the styles. So you'll see different techniques and all that come through that share similar names, that have similar looks, but may not be the exact same. Like repulse the monkey, I believe in Yang style, comes back and then push forward. Where in Wu style, we come back. It's a little different, but it's still called repulse the monkey. In this one, right here, it's similar concepts, but different. All right, that's the Wu style Tai Chi class that I'm going to do today. We're going to do some more coming up. We're about halfway through the form. After here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I just jumped the forms. Yeah, you got about like 12 to 16 more movements, and then the full 13 golden posture form is done. Remember, each posture is a series of movements. Like this can be one posture. This is one posture, moving to single whip. So, all right, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'm going to be doing a Kung Fu stream here at 3:30. We're going to be pulling out the bag and doing some Kung Fu techniques and having fun getting that workout on. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.